Boardroom chaos at OpenAI has highlighted the cracks in its corporate structure. But what about Microsoft? Even though Sam Altman is back at OpenAI, the tech giant might still be the winner. Shares of Microsoft spiked during the upheaval at OpenAI. Now, prior to Altman's return to OpenAI, Microsoft inviting the non-profit's employees onto the Microsoft AI lab team. So is Microsoft on its way to dominating the AI industry? For more on this, Brent Bracelin, Piper Sandler Analyst, is here to tell us more. So talk about the strategy here. We saw Satya Nadella voicing his support for Sam going back to OpenAI and, continuing to support there. What is the strategy there as to how Microsoft still comes out on top?
Sure. Well, listen, it's been a very busy month with several new product launches, several user events where Microsoft is getting a buy-in for their first mover advantage in AI with really large enterprises. Accenture going wall to wall with GitHub Copilot powered by OpenAI and GPT-4. Large enterprises like Bayer and Shopify that are building their AI interfaces and functionality using Microsoft technology and OpenAI. So it is very critical as you think about Microsoft and this OpenAI relationship that they have a much better understanding of governance and controls and the opportunity. Things are happening very fast. There's a lot of excitement. Microsoft has this first mover advantage, but we've seen a little bit of risk here surface around the reliance around OpenAI and the structure there. Clearly, I think it was the right move for Microsoft to lend support over a very short period of time when the future of OpenAI was very uncertain. But ultimately, we do think that OpenAI and Microsoft are very, very close partners and will continue to be close partners. And we're certainly happy to see Sam and the team still together with minimal disruption to Microsoft's own AI ambitions.
Brent, with that said, this is a partnership that existed before the upheaval at OpenAI. Did anything fundamentally change for Microsoft over the last 5 days?
I think a lot has changed, right? I think one, it's exposed some additional risk, right, around Microsoft's reliance around GPT-4 and OpenAI, and so I think there's also some risk to the structure of working with basically this leading innovator in AI that Microsoft has put some money into, yet doesn't have a lot of governance and control over. And so I think that's certainly surfacing as something that needs to be addressed. So absolutely, Microsoft's learned a lot over the last 4 days. Investors have learned a lot over the last 4 days. Ultimately, if you put the drama aside, I think this is probably one of the better outcomes for Microsoft, particularly if you see them now start to have a board seat and more say on the governance of this operation going forward.
And what does this do in terms of their leadership position? I mean, we're already seeing Amazon, AWS investing $4 billion into Anthropic, some of these other AI competitors here. Does this perhaps, seeing some of that blood in the water, seeing some of that corporate governance, those issues there, does that potentially narrow the gap?
Listen, I think narrowing a gap in a 4-day period is certainly hard to do. I would just remind folks, we're very early in the evolution of this AI opportunity. We see Microsoft clearly as a first mover advantage here. They have about $2 billion run rate in AI. That is clearly far and away larger than any of their peers. I don't think they're going to narrow that gap in 4 days, but it's something to watch. By no means is Microsoft the only winner here. I think early days internet, there wasn't one winner of the internet. I think they're all going to look at different ways they can leverage this new technology and try to capitalize on it, leveraging their own internal strengths. Microsoft just happens to have a very bold vision of what they want to leverage here, what they want to do. And again, seeing stability at their partner OpenAI is really important.
Yeah, Brent, I mean, going back to what you just said about the risk that's been exposed for Microsoft over the last 5 days because of what you have said is the lack of governance that was at OpenAI, does that force Satya Nadella to maybe diversify a little? I mean, we've seen the close lock between these two companies. but a lot could have imploded if all these employees left at OpenAI.
On one hand, I think investors will press Microsoft to have some sort of diversification strategy. It's natural to have a multi-source relationship on silicon, multi-source relationships for multiple components. So that, I think, is something you're going to see investors lean in a little bit on. But I will go back. If you think about the role of AI and moving quickly, you're seeing Amazon starting to standardize, right, and work closer with Anthropic. Oracle with Oracle Cloud is partnering with Cohere. So I look at cloud and these AI, generative AI, and large language models as peanut butter and jelly. They go together. They're better together. You're going to have to make some choices because there are a limited number of options today. That will change in the next 10 years, but I think it is important to partner, and Microsoft has selected the partner here that happens to be the leader. And I think it's important that they continue that path, but absolutely over the next 10 years, longer term, they're going to have a more diversified strategy.
Well, it certainly helped the stock over the last 5 days. Investors happy about that. Brent Bracelin, Piper Sandler Analyst, good to talk to you today.
Thank you.